Hey there, motorheads. Back to work on the Dana 60. We got some parts coming in and getting ready to do some work on it. So I'll show you what we got going on real quick. And Farley is all excited to get after this. Aren't you, Farley? That looks like excitement to me. Alright, so what we got going on here is a Rubicon Express anti-wrap spring perch. It's kind of a fairly tall perch, and that's why I chose it. Mainly because the Dana 60, if you could see, there's a pretty good gap in there. The Dana 60 cast-in perch is pretty tall, and I'd rather leave it. So I do have this plate, a piece of 1/4-inch plate I'm going to throw up there, and I'm going to weld that on, and as you can see, that pretty much takes care of the gap. Everything will be good. So I got to poke a hole in that plate, and then I'm going to weld it to the perch. Then I'm going to weld the perch to the axle. Okay, we're back at the old Gorton mill. Just going to show you probably the most basic milling operation there is. We're just going to poke a hole in this plate. That's going to be my center hole for my leaf spring centering pin. So we got a couple parallels in the vise, and you can see I got a looped up really big zip tie holding them. We got the DRO back there. The drill chuck's in. I checked the other hole, and it's a 9/16, and it turns out I have a stub length 9/16 drill bit. So I'm not even going to spot it because that bit's pretty short and pretty rigid. I will lock the table once I find the center. Okay, if you hear a hum in the background, that's my rotary phase converter. Hopefully the camera doesn't pick up too much of that. This device here in the drill chuck is what's called an edge finder, and these ends will kick out. This is a General brand, and I know a lot of guys are screaming right now, get a Starrett edge finder. I have a Starrett, but this is all this calls for. The General is the one that I just use more. So the basic idea, you'll notice I've got the plate just below the edge, so I can actually pick up on the vise and talk you through that as we go. And I'm going to just kind of move it over about to the center of the jaws and just up off the bottom there. Set my spindle to, 800 or 1000 RPM, something like that. So what you can't see is I just adjusted the belt, so we're good to go. Put it in high range. So now, as we touch that, it's going to true up, and then it's going to suddenly kick to the side, and that's where you zero. Except that's obviously not truly zero because of the diameter. It's 200 thousandths. So I'm going to zero the y-axis right there. Now I'm going to get it to run fairly true. Put it up just a little, eyeball it over, and then dial till the DRO says 100 thousandths. Okay, so according to the DRO, we're on center there. Now I know this is 2.460, so I need to go 1.23 inches. I zeroed my DRO again, so when I line this up to 1.230, and this is, for this job, this is probably more accurate than you need. Honestly, you could just do this with a hand drill. So there we go. Now I want to find the center the long way. So I'm going to bring it down again, and I'll get it disturbed. You're probably going to get a better view this time. And we will just wind it over until it trues up and then kicks. 8 there, it kicked. So we're going to zero it, lift it up a little. Once again, that's a 200 thousandths end on that. So I'm just winding it 100 thousandths on the DRO. Zero that. Now we know this is 6.064, so we're going to go 3.032. So that's the exact center of that plate. Once again, you can see it's a stub length 9/16. So I'm not going to bother with a center drill or spotting drill or anything. For all practical purposes, this pretty much is. I am going to slow the spindle speed down a little bit from what we just did though. Better to, when in doubt, run it slower, and it'll help your tool last longer. Well, that was dancing around a little bit. All right, I stand corrected. I need to spot that with something. All right, little center drill action. That appears to have trued it up. And because I got it sitting here, I guess we'll do a pilot hole. And the pilot hole needs to run a lot faster than that. So I'm just changing my dry belt on the pulley over here off camera. It's a little fast. You can see from the chips that it was running just a little hot there. All right, folks, we're all set up to weld, and as you can see over my shoulder, that's the TIG welder, not the wire feed. And I don't know why I'm not wire feeding it. I certainly could. I think it's just because the TIG welder was in front of the wire feed and easier to get out. So flip this to the other back screen, show you what we got going on. So here's the TIG torch. It's a water-cooled 20 with a jumbo gas lens on it. So the jumbo gas lens uses these jumbo gas lenses and these jumbo cups. And I'm running a number 12 cup on there with an 1/8 inch tungsten. I don't know, I just put it on because I'm going to be kind of welding in an inside corner when I get to the axle, so that'll let me have a little more stick out on the tungsten. So shut this down, and you can see I've cleaned everything up with acetone, and I've got the drill bit through there as a pin just to align everything, and I've got those clamps, which will, the drill bit and the clamps will come off as soon as it's fully tacked. And then here, look at that. If that looks like a super cheap action camera with a piece of welding glass in front of it, duct tape to it, well, it's because that's what that is. I'm going to try to get you some arc shots. So we'll see how that goes. I don't know if it's going to be a success or a failure, but let's get set up and let's start welding. All right, there's the TIG welds. That went pretty good. Pretty happy with the welds. They're burned in hot. See that on the back side, plenty of heat poured into there. I checked the video I shot of the arc shots, and unfortunately I had it set on time lapse. All right, we're over here getting set up to do the TIG welding. Got a little level there. See, I got my comfy TIG welding chair. Got the axle pretty close to the edge, so the scheme is pretty simple. I level this perch over here, and then I'll level this perch over here, tack her down, weld her good. Okay, Farley, gotta go outside. All right, motorheads. Well, we're all done. It's actually the next day, and I wanted to come back and talk about spring perches a little, but figured I'd give you a quick look at the welds, and there they are, just TIG welds. So what I wanted to mention about spring perches is if you go back and look, I had really sharp square ends on my perches, And that's not going to be good for the fatigue life of the springs. So you can see I've rounded them off pretty good. And I wanted to show you, this is actually like a factory spicer perch, or at least a reproduction of one. You can see how rounded that is. And that's going to be really good, especially if you have a vehicle with relatively flat springs and they might go inverted. That makes a huge difference. If you have high arch springs that never flatten out, it's less critical. So I just wanted to mention that. And then this is the Rubicon Express anti-wrap perch. And you can see that's a pretty sharp edge on there. So just wanted to mention that, show you my welds, and close out the video. Farley here has been helping me. And I just want to say thanks for watching. And be sure to like, share, subscribe, and tell your buddies about it. Thank you.